today, I'll make reference to the scriptures and I'll describe it. What you can do is take note of the scriptures and go and read it. In Matthew chapter 16, Jesus and his disciples were walking in a place called Caesarea Philippi. And he asked them, what do men say that I am? What do men say that I am? And then they said, some say you are Elijah, some say you are John the Baptist, some say you are Jeremiah, some say you are one of the prophets. And when he was talking to them, they could, their answer, they didn't say what he was to them. He had asked them the question and they were answering, what do men say that I am? And they gave answers to it. And some of those answers were partially true. And then he says to them, now forget about what men say that I am. What do you say that I am? You know, I've not gotten into the sermon. This is just an introduction. But I'm asking you the same question that Jesus said. Forget about what men say God is. What do you say God is? Because you see, when it comes to the promises of God, it is not what men believe about the promises of God that matter. It is what you believe about the promises of God that matter. And so Peter did say, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. So Peter was the one who got the identity right for the people. Now Peter's name was Simon at that point in time. It was Simon. That was his name. And Christ says, and he most probably was speaking on behalf of all the people, of the disciples. And so Christ says to him, flesh and blood, or this knowledge has not been revealed to you by human beings, but has only been revealed to you by the Father. Now let me come to the point I'm going to make. Then Jesus makes a promise. He says, now you are Peter. Peter just means stone. Okay. The Greek word there is Petros, is stone. You have become a stone. Then he says, or some people will call it rock, but it's not a big rock. It's just a rock. But he says, but on this rock, and he changes the word he uses. He moved from the word Petros to the word Petra. Petra means a rock from a mountain or a foundational rock. Okay. So he then says, on this rock, I will build my church. You see, you might be a little stone, but you will be grafted or placed on a bigger stone, a stone that comes from a mountain, hewn not with the hands of men, but created by God himself. He says, on this rock, I'll build my church, and the gates of Hades or hell cannot prevail against it. And he then says that, you see, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatever you set loose on earth shall be set loose in heaven. And that's a promise that he made. And that filled the people with hope. Now that's proper hope. Now let's come to an episode in the lives of the church where this hope of the victory and the prevalence and the domination of the church over the systems of the world and over Satan seemed to be waning. You see, we know from the scriptures eventually that the kingdoms of this world shall become the kingdom of our God and of his Christ, and he shall reign. That's what John saw and wrote in Revelations. The kingdom of this world shall become the kingdom